Commence primary ignition.
This is the way. I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
What is up, all of you Ugnaughts and Jawas out there, and welcome back to Mando Talk. And everybody, if you are watching live with us, welcome the man, the legend. He ain't a myth. Zach Horvath, he is back on the show. And I just got to say this, man. First of all, you look dark side as always, but second of all, you look absolute fire with that display. First of all, I've said first of all already too much. How are you doing? And how is Dad Life Part 2 going for you, baby?
Oh, doing good. I'm it's something, you know. It's a lot to take in, but just happy to be back. I've been looking forward to this all week long, man. I am so happy to be back. Shout out DJ Foster, Rebel Scum Texan, stepping in for me, doing his job, doing his due diligence, killing it. Just got to give him a shout out. I really appreciate you stepping in while I went, go be an old dad.
Yeah. Well, it was great to have conversations with him, and I even told him this off air, and Zach, I'm just going to go ahead and sign you up for it. I think we should get all three of us down together at some point
100%.
and talk about some things, maybe when the news isn't as heavy, so we can make sure that, we can just have fun and relish in the fact that we get to hang out together. But yeah, if you're watching out there and you want to see me, Rebel Scum Texan, a.k.a. DJ Foster, and Zach Horvath all sit down and talk about some things, I would love to do it. Now, we will go ahead and get started with talking about the Bad Batch, because we want to hold off on the news necessarily, but we do this every night, every time we do live streams, because it's Thursday night. It's the night before the next episode, The Bad Batch. We've got 2 episodes left. I don't know about predictions. I think I say that every week, but I will say the ending of last week's episode has me extremely pumped and ready to go for tomorrow's episode. Zach, I know it's been a while since you've been on the mics for this, so what do you think going into tomorrow's episode? Where are you at right now with the Bad Batch?
They really turned it around. I do appreciate you letting me throw my reviews out there, and I hope you guys liked it. But yeah, I'm pumped. I'm ready for tomorrow. I cannot wait to watch it. It's been the first time in a long time I felt that way, and I'm just super excited. It seems like we're on the same page from at least watching the reviews.
Oh, definitely. It did seem like that one week that you weren't, too big of a fan of. I was like a little bit above you, but then yeah, the top tier episode, I think the fan base in its entirety was on the money with that. But I guess this is a good segue for us to go into the Star Wars news. And Zach, you're going to be the one to take control of that and ride it out, make it go smoothly. The news is back in your hands, brother. So if you want to go ahead and get it started, let's wait no longer. Let's do this thing.
All right. As Keller said, ton of news this week. We've got a lot to cover. We're going to get as deep as we get. You guys know how we roll around here. It might be a long one tonight. First night back, We got 50,000 things to talk about, and they're all worth talking about.
Let's do it.
So, number 1 on the list, official announcement. Star Wars The Bad Batch will return for a second season in 2022. Wow. Prepare for the 2-part finale of season 1 starting tomorrow, as in Friday, only on Disney Plus. End quote. I can't believe that they're already announcing it. However, I love it. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Give it to me. And I saw some chat. It may have been in our Discord, link in the description, but I think someone had said, like, they're probably looking at the first couple weeks when they greenlight something like this, right? I'm sure they looked the whole time, but the first couple weeks was hot. And so if they're looking at that, it's like, oh yeah, yeah, we got to do season 2. And he started to linger a little bit, but it makes me feel better about the end of this season, knowing that we have a season 2. Um, I don't know if that's controversial or not, but that's kind of where I land. It makes me feel better about it. Um, so, Keller, what's your thoughts first before we get into questions?
Well, one thing that really stood out to me as soon as I saw the announcement, I mentally thought back to, all those episodes that, rightfully so, in my opinion, it's caused this kind of divide that I've seen on Twitter. People labeled as filler. And I'm not somebody that just gets all upset when people do that. Your opinion is your opinion as far as Star Wars goes, so have at it. But I do think, for me personally, I think this is clarification maybe, and this is maybe just too much of a hope that I've had. I think those filler episodes are in fact eventually going to be capitalized on. So right now I think it's been a slow burn, a slow process, but I think the fact that they did have a season 2 in mind, and you're 100% correct that probably based off the first 2 or 3 weeks, they greenlit it and they were just waiting on the appropriate time to announce it. I think because we are getting a second season, for me, that was the first thing that I thought of. Was I know that online we've been getting a lot of like discourse as far as, is an episode filler or not? And I know there's been a couple in there. And I've made some interesting theories while you were away as far as maybe Darth Maul, trying to pull in any possibility. And I really think that this show is going to capitalize on that. And I think the fact that they had multiple seasons planned out is evidence of that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. So let's get into a little bit of questions, dig a little deeper, right?
Okay.
And if you're in the live chat, feel free to ring off on these as well. So first question was, why did they make the announcement today?
Yeah, man. I don't want to be Debbie Downer here. I don't have red behind me, but I am going dark side. It is odd to announce a second season while the show is still going. It's typical, like Loki, for example. We just saw the end of that fantastic show. They wait until the end of the season to announce the next one. So I know since we've been so negative about it, maybe it's a final attempt to get people to check in on the last 2 episodes because, hey, there's more coming. You got to know what happens in these episodes to know or to be prepared for what comes next. I think a little bit of that was mentioned, or a little bit of that was mixed into it. But also I think it might just be that there's so much stuff down the pipeline that they just wanted to go ahead and get this as well listed on the agenda. It's all about money. You got investors, you got Disney Plus, or just Disney investors in general that want to know what's going on with Star Wars, and they just wanted to go ahead and throw this announcement out. Those are my thoughts, but I am kind of leaning toward it's one kind of last-ditch effort to make sure, don't forget about the Bad Batch. Come check this show out.
This is 100% a PR move to get people to watch the finale and watch the show. 100%. And there is nothing wrong with that. I make it sound like it's a bad thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right. Like, get those viewers and people who maybe have fallen off with the quote unquote filler episodes. Maybe they could see, they see this and go, I need to go back and watch because the finale's, coming up. So in that mindset, makes complete sense to me. That's why they did it on a random Thursday right before their finale airs. That's the only thing I think of. But also, we know it's because Mando Talk was coming on, and they knew I was coming back.
Dude,
So
you nailed it on the head right there.
As I said in the Discord, like, I called Kathy up. I was like, yo, I'm coming back. We need some hype moments. And this was it. She delivered for us. But so DJ says going forward, they're 100% going to capitalize on these filler episodes. Whatever takes place in these final 2 episodes is going to propel the story forward in season 2. 100% agree with him on all that.
Yeah.
I truly believe that these quote unquote filler episodes are going to come to fruition. And, thinking about it in that regard, maybe they were planning on a season 2 pretty heavily. When they were writing this, because why would you have those random episodes where Bad Batch is nowhere to be found or doing random things, right?
Yeah.
They're going to be paid off, but I think that's the only answer. really.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, absolutely. I want to go ahead and give a special shout out to Blue Harvest Bricks, who was in our live chat before we actually went live.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Second week in a row here, where you've showed support here, or maybe actually more than that. I struggle to keep up, but regardless,
I think
appreciate it, man.
we
Appreciate it.
yeah appreciate it. We love having people and throw it in the live chat. So going back to our questions here, are we excited about season 2?
Yes. The only thing I'm concerned about is, like I've already alluded to, the massive list of content that we've talked about could come out next year. We know Mando 3 is on that list. I believe they've already committed to Andor being in 2022. I might be wrong. I might be misremembering that. And we know Book of Boba's not going to finish until early 20, like it's going to keep on rolling into 2022. And now we got the Bad Batch, Mando 3, Andor, Kenobi. So, this might be a new hot take. I don't know if we're getting Kenobi next year. They might be making sure that everything is perfection in that show. Because
you're entirely wrong. You're entirely
listen,
wrong.
I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I really hope I'm wrong. But I'm struggling to see this vision, I guess, because, I've always been, I guess, a traditional, like, less is more for Star Wars. You can't really treat it like Marvel. I've always kind of viewed it that way. But maybe they think it's got potential enough, and yeah, it's got potential enough to copy a little bit of that formula. I don't know. I'm rambling. What do you think?
I am excited. Yeah. This show, I think I've said it multiple times, but this show is way better than I thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. So, even though I've had my, qualms with
the dark side.
Yeah. I had to dip into the dark there a couple weeks ago. However, overall, I've really, really enjoyed having this show, just as Star Wars to keep me up and entertain me and give us something to talk about. Blue Harvest Brick says, knowing there is now going to be a season 2, we can expect a massive cliffhanger in the finale.
Yeah,
I didn't think about it.
Dude.
You are probably so correct.
I think I've seen online the 2 top mentions, Boba Fett, Vader, are potentials as far as seeing them. And I'll throw another one out there. Cal Kestis. Wouldn't that be something? But I've also seen as simple as just Crosshair meeting his end. Being one of those kind of moments.
That's where I land. Land. That's where I land is something like that, where Crosshair, is he dead or not? But I just don't think they would do that. The whole season has been this Crosshair v Bad Batch type thing. Mm-hmm. So I'd like to think that they would conclude that. Where I land on it is, it could be Boba Fett. I didn't even consider Vader, but I mean, come on. Delicious. Just seeing Vader cut down one of these dudes would be sick, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to end with a rebel type thing. With a Rex and the rebels coming in to save the day or something like that.
Yeah,
that's
and when you mentioned that, my prediction brain started cranking. I do think that maybe the Bad Batch is going to call on Rex to go save Hunter.
Yeah.
Because Rex is aware of that location because he received that distress call from Gregor, and he just couldn't go.
Yeah. That's so. I didn't think about that. That's great. That very well could be where they blast off. Maybe they're like, all right, we got to find Rex and the rebels. We need help.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. I think you just wrote the episode.
Let's make it happen, baby.
Okay. Last kind of thing on this, news point. Mm. What do we think about it being a 2-part finale? I felt like that was kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, and reading over that, I know eyes go straight to, season 2 is coming next year. For me, though, I spent just as much time thinking about, they decided to do a 2-parter for the finale. That gets me more excited because in my mind, that takes me, again, I've said this before, it takes me back to kind of the premiere vibes. That's kind of what I'm expecting. If they're committing to making this a 2-parter, it's going to be great. Now, I will say this, though. I believe that is a trait that like Rebels had done in the past, where its finales or its last 2 episodes were together, part 1s, part 2s. So that goes with the animation style that they've done before. So spot on. I'm excited for it, but it did initially get me even more so excited for these last 2 episodes.
Yeah, I agree. I double take, or I did a double take when I saw that. I was like, oh, season 2. That's awesome. Wait, 2-part finale. Okay, all right, that's how we're doing this. And like you said, it kind of got me a little bit more hype for it. Just knowing that they're going to tell one full story. And DJ Foster says the season-ending cliffhanger will have something to do with Vader calling it now. All right, you said it.
I hope so. I hope so.
I hope. I mean, I hope you're right. Give me that Rogue One style. That's what I need. I need that Rogue One Vader in animation. That'd be sick. But I don't know, man. I don't know if we see Vader. I think if we see Vader, it's going to be a cameo type role. Like we see him walk by, or he'll say something and go on, like when he's with Grand Moff Tarkin or whatever he is right now. I'm not sure. But
yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. Like if he does appear, I think it's going to be associated with Tarkin in some way, or maybe it's just the final destruction of Kamino. We've me and DJ speculated about that. Before we even saw last week's episode. Yeah, if I recall correctly, DJ was pretty close to being on the money as far as them getting out of Kamino. We might see some things go down there, and it would only make sense for the Empire to entrust in its Sith Lord, Darth Vader.
Hey, that was good. That was a good one.
You got to do it when you can, man.
Yeah, no, I think you might be right. He says, again, DJ Foster says, you don't animate Vader in the Clone Wars season finale if he's not showing up somewhere else.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Touche. Okay. If y'all have anything else, just throw it in the chat. But we're gonna move on. We got a lot of ground cover still. Big deal though, right? Season 2. So
absolutely,
we took our time. All right. Another thing out of nowhere. Lego Star Wars Terrifying Tales is coming to Disney Plus on October 1st. Never heard of this. Did you know about this? First of all,
no. It just came.
Anyone?
No, I don't think so. I think it literally just came straight out of nowhere. I got the notification on my phone from Twitter, coming soon or something like that, and I was like, "Oh, what is this? What is this?"
Yeah. I was like, "Okay, what is this?" So here's the synopsis. I'll give you the synopsis. Quote: After the events of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, Poe Dameron and BB-8 must take an emergency landing on the volcanic planet Mustafar, where they meet the greedy and conniving Graballa the Hutt. The crime boss has purchased Darth Vader's castle and is renovating it into the galaxy's first all-inclusive Sith-inspired luxury hotel.
And they're going to charge $4,000 a night for it.
Hey, that's right. Is this real world or Lego? While waiting for his X-Wing to be repaired, Poe, BB-8, Graballa, and Dean, a plucky and courageous young boy who works as Graballa's mechanic, venture deep into the mysterious castle with Vader's loyal servant, Vinay.
I believe that character's been in a comic before, but I'm not I think right. DJ's been reading the Vader comic series. So, hey, if you know, jump in the chat, man.
Yeah, and so along the way, Vinay shares 3 creepy stories linked to ancient artifacts and iconic villains from across the eras of Star Wars. As Vinay spins his tales and lures our heroes deeper into the shadowy underbelly of the castle, a sinister plan emerges. With the help of Dean, Poe, and BB-8, we'll have to face their fears, stop an ancient evil from rising, and escape to make it back to their friends.
You did
what
a
a synopsis,
great job on that, man.
On a freaking Lego Star Wars show out of nowhere. I'll sum it up for you guys. Poe and BB-8 get told creepy stories, and that's how they're said.
Yeah, in a Sith inspired
Sith luxury hotel. It's Hotel Transylvania, Star Wars version. DJ says there's only one piece, pun intended, of Lego content I'm anxiously waiting on, and it's the much anticipated Lego Star Wars video game that has been delayed for 2 years.
That's a great call.
And he said, I'm terribly behind on the Vader comics, so don't know this character.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. We don't either. So, yeah, I'm super hyped for that video game. Freaking COVID, man. It's affecting so many of our video games. And you guys know how much I love video games and keeping up with the news. So I'm ready for that game. I cannot wait to get it. The Lego Star Wars games have been awesome,
Yeah.
and the Lego Star Wars holiday special. What were your thoughts on that when they came
I
out?
had fun with it. Yeah, and I know for me, as soon as I saw this, that was my immediate comparison. Like,
Hmm.
okay, obviously it's going to be kind of along that thread of that holiday special. And I think if you go in it taking like having the expectation of it's a Lego short, essentially a Lego short film on Disney Plus, you'll have fun. I'm sure there will be funny moments as long as it keeps like leaning into, because the holiday special kind of made fun of Star Wars a little bit. Like it made fun of its quirkiness. And I think if it keeps, going at that, I think it's going to be successful. And I love the Halloween theme that we got going on. Now, that image, I see the Death Star 2 in the background. I see a red lightsaber coming out from the ground. Maybe somebody that we thought was dead. Maybe, I don't know, say Emperor Palpatine might be kind of involved.
100%.
Yeah, and I think the official list of cast members indicates that there is a voice for Palps. So I would expect to see him. I would maybe, since it's Sith, it might be all of them: Maul, Dooku, Grievous, Kylo Ren somehow, even
We'll
though
we'll see
he's
a
not a
bunch.
Sith. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we'll see a bunch. They'll dig them all out. They'll dig them all out of the grave. You
yeah.
know, but I think it'll be cool. Would I say I'm excited for it? No. Just to be honest, I'll watch it. I'll give it a chance. How about
hmm
this? I'll give it a chance. It's on Disney Plus. Why not? Right? I
Why
know
not?
they do goofy stuff with Lego and they have fun with it, and I'm sure kids really like it because it is very, kid friendly in their jokes and kind of the aesthetic. So we'll see. What do you guys think out there? Let us know if you're watching this back or whatever. Are you excited about Lego Star Wars Terrifying Tales?
Eh,
Hey, you tell us.
eh.
Because I'm like, okay,
I'm like
sure.
you. I'll
It's
watch
cool.
it. I'll watch it, but you're right. It's not essential as far as like understanding the galaxy.
Or even my like caring of the galaxy,
hmm
right? This is gonna be just a bunch of callbacks and goofy situations that are, kind of creepy and scary. But like you said, it's a perfect thing for the kids because Halloween can be a time for kids that, some may not like it or may not, be scared of it or whatever. And
True.
Star Wars, I'm sure they make oogobs of money on on Halloween.
Oh,
So
definitely.
I think they'll be all right.
Yeah,
But
hundred
you got
percent.
anything else on Lego Star Wars there?
No, I don't. I know for me, it's all as soon as I saw Poe Dameron as far as one of the characters. I did kind of think, oh, maybe Oscar Isaac is coming back as voice. He's not, but I do want to make sure, don't freak out about that. It's normal for big time actors, actresses to not return in these
Yeah.
type of just voiceover roles. And honestly, I don't really personally expect Oscar Isaac to actually ever come back anyway, at least right now. Even though we have speculated, he might show up in Rogue Squadron. That would be cool. Um,
He'll be at Rogue
but yeah,
Squadron.
I just wanted to make sure, those of you out there, don't freak out about that if you ever had any
Yeah.
intention of that, because I don't think that there's much there. I don't think there's
I,
meat on that bone to chew on as far as, oh, that's a big deal.
all I'll say on it is it does makes me very happy when it's the original voices because
True.
I'm gonna do it. I'm back, baby. I'm back. We're going to Marvel. They have their What If series coming out, right?
hmm
It's an animated show with all the characters of Marvel doing crazy stuff. Not all original characters are back. A bunch of them are, but not everybody. So
hmm
that's weird to me. It kind of throws me off a little bit, and it makes me wish that the OGs were in there. But just like you said, it doesn't really matter,
Yeah.
right? As long as the content's good and we have fun with it, it doesn't really matter. Don't take it personal or take it that they hate Disney or Marvel or Star Wars or any of that. Um, these guys are big players, right?
Agreed.
So you can
And
just get some dude who sounds like Poe Dameron to come in and do
yeah.
it. Sounds like I'm not lowering the voice actors, right? Those guys do a great job, but
hmm
you don't have to have the main actor to do it. So
Yeah, and let's
I'm
not
happy.
forget that Oscar Isaac is busy with Moon Knight, your
Moon
Marvel
Knight? I know
universe.
nothing about Moon Knight. I love Oscar Isaac, so give it to me.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I have no idea what Moon Knight is, and apparently it's kind of like dark and very serious.
Hey,
So
that
yeah,
sounds good to me, man.
give it to me. All right, moving on here. Number 3, is it Giancarlo?
Giancarlo.
Giancarlo Esposito confirms The Mandalorian season 3 will film this year. So
Gus
Gus
Fring, baby.
Fring, he's telling us filming this year. Here's what he said, in quote: "They just finished shooting Boba Fett, and soon they will start on season 3. I don't know what Pedro's up to. We never have to wait on Pedro, though. I know he'd love to be more out of the helmet, but his job is to be in the helmet. That's the deal. I'm sure that he's worked out something to do his other show and come back and do us." End quote.
Mm-hmm.
So, old Moff, he's telling us what we want to hear, right? Filming this year, that gets me excited, and also he's saying exactly what we've been speculating. You don't need Pedro to be there. He can do his ADR afterwards. He can do the helmet off scenes while he's not being Joel in The Last of Us. I'm so excited about that. I'm probably more excited about that than season 3 of
Uh-oh.
That shows y'all. I know this is Star Wars podcast. I'm going everywhere, but that's one of my favorite games of all time. Give it to me. Sorry, you can have your Mandalorian when he gets done with that. But no, I'm just playing. I think everything he said is what we thought and what we want to hear. I'm surprised that he went this deep in talking about Pedro and all that. I think he may have been like, I went a little far there in saying we don't need him. But what do you think? Do you think he's being straight up with us and straightforward?
Yeah, 100%. I think, honestly, this might be the most straight up kind of answer we've gotten from any of the talents on The Mandalorian so far, as far as, what shooting is looking like for this year and how much they actually need Pedro involved as far as shooting goes. Sorry. Sorry, I was reading my phone there for a second. Pedro not being there, though. Pedro not being there is kind of a bummer to me, a little bit. Only because I think I have gotten to the point, and I think the show has gotten to the point, where it's displayed that Din Djarin is now willing to drop the helmet rule. He's willing to be like Bo-Katan and show his face almost 50-50 or maybe 60-40, honestly. I feel like we saw Katie Sackhoff as Bo-Katan more than we saw Bo-Katan with a helmet on. And I think that's where Din Djarin eventually needs to get to. Now, if he needs to remain helmeted to keep the talent of Pedro Pascal available to work on The Mandalorian, I will take that over them having to, rewrite scripts and things like that. Because I just enjoy watching Pedro work that much. If it's just small little scenes that he's in, that's fine. But I do, for me, I guess I am bummed because, Pedro Pascal, I like watching him. I like him being in the scenes. And I want to get to that point where maybe he doesn't have to wear that mask as much. But, I mean, come on. Look at how beautiful that mask is and how beautiful Din Djarin is fully dressed out in Beskar. So I'm kind of 50-50 with it. I want to see Pedro as much as possible on screen, but I do want, and I'm like you, I would love to see Pedro in The Last of Us, So I don't know. It's 50-50 for me.
Does this tell us that Pedro's going to be in the helmet a lot?
Oh, no.
You don't think so?
Like the character Din Djarin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Do you think his comments tell us that Din Djarin's going to be in the helmet a lot?
I think so.
I think so too. DJ says Mandalorian needs Pedro on site as often as possible. I don't care if Giancarlo says they don't need him; they do. I mean, I agree that he should be on site as much as possible, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
He's your guy. He's your lead actor. Because I want to talk about something. This made me think of Walking Dead. So I was a huge Walking Dead guy for like seasons 1 through 5-ish, I think. And everyone in the cast would talk about is how good of a leading man Andrew Lincoln is on and off screen, right? Or on and off camera. He would always go over to the new people, talk to them, say hello, tell them how things are, invite them to dinner, just do these things that, not everybody does, I feel like.
Mhm.
And with Pedro Pascal being the Mandalorian, you got to have him there. I agree that, he should be there as much as possible, but he doesn't have to be.
Yeah, he
This
doesn't.
role, you don't have to be. And I think that's one of the main reasons he took the role, if I'm being honest with you.
Mm.
Star Wars being the main number one, he's going
Right.
to jump on it. It's a great story, all that good stuff. But, he's got to be thinking in the background, I got to be here. You don't even see my face.
Sure.
DJ says, Dinjarin is going to keep the helmet on, though, and that's a massive bummer. I agree 100%.
Yep.
Kind of going with what we think. But I want to talk about one more thing about this little quote here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think Moff Gideon's going to be up to?
Well, and that's kind of what we focused on as far as our topic tonight before the Bad Batch kind of broke the news. Moff Gideon's at a very interesting point right now because at the end of season, he was ready to off himself because, Luke Skywalker was showing up and he knew that he was in trouble and he's now captured, or at least he was captured. He was surrounded at that point. I've always held on to this theory. I'm going to keep tooting my own horn here because I really, really genuinely believe that they are setting this up. Moff Gideon is being puppeteered by Grand Admiral Thrawn. I have no doubt in my mind that that's occurring. So I think we might be getting to this stage now that we've seen Moff Gideon maybe not intimidating anymore there at the final moments of season 2. It might transition into this, okay, maybe Moff Gideon is not that great of a villain, and we're going to see him kind of look more so like a weaker type of role because Thrawn is coming in and Thrawn is just pushing him around like, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, blah, blah, blah.
Do we see Thrawn? So I don't know if it's a hot take or not, but and DJ, he says, I respectfully disagree. LOL. I really think Pedro should just be there. I agree with you on that he should be there.
Mm-hmm.
But again, he doesn't have to be,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I do agree that he should be there. And you would think that if he was the lead guy, even if he's not there, like we see the behind the scenes stuff, he seems to be there. Even when he's not in the thing, you just see him in regular clothes. So he does seem like he tries to be there as much as he can. But and if you're doing the ADR, I'd like to think you'd want to be there as an actor. And he said, and then DJ says, Thrawn is on the way. That's exactly where I was headed, DJ. He's coming. He's going to be in season 3. We're going to see him.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
He has to be.
Ooh.
Unless somehow they show him in Ahsoka, but why would you not? You name dropped him already. Show him in season 3. Show him killing Moff Gideon. Boom. That sets the scene right there, baby. Just cut him down. Like episode 2, they get him back or they drop him off or steal him back, blah, blah, blah. He goes all... I do the same thing every night. We're going Last Jedi, all right? He does the full-on Snoke, tossing Rey around. But this time, he actually just offs him. Boom. Done.
Mm.
All right. You failed your job. You were supposed to kill yourself. You didn't. Boom, you're dead now. Now, when you get an actor like Giancarlo Esposito, I don't know if you do that, but you talk about setting the scene, and people normal, just like my wife. If I say Thrawn, she has no idea what that is. Even when she saw it with Ahsoka, she's like, "Who's the person she's talking about?" I'm like, "Oh." So, sorry, it just made me think I just love being on this show, man. It's so fun. And DJ says that's a big prediction. Thrawn being in season 3 would blow my mind. I'm telling you, man. Talk about a season. We don't even have to see him much, but just do like I said. Set the scene. Throw him around. He says, and then he says, "What if Thrawn is in Book of Boba?"
Mm. It's certainly
I
possible.
it's possible,
You know,
and I don't know if I want that.
yeah.
I
Here,
don't know if I want
you
that.
want to hear? So here's some number crunching. I'm thinking because I'm saying 100% Thrawn is showing up at some point in the Mandoverse. Here's my percentages based on shows. I think it's 70% Ahsoka. I think that Ahsoka name dropped Thrawn for a reason. I think Rebels has teased Ahsoka going after Thrawn, and I think that is not Din Djarin or the Mandalorian's moment. I think that's Ahsoka's that deserves to be with Ahsoka's show, and that's why I'm going so heavy with 70% in Ahsoka. I would then say 29% the Mandalorian because of that name drop, and then that would leave 1% with Book of Boba Fett.
Okay. Okay.
And that might be harsh, but I guess
And
that's just how
no,
passionate I feel with how Thrawn is progressing with the Ahsoka
and it's
story.
tied to Ahsoka. That's fair. And you might be right. I think I probably go 40% um Ahsoka.
Okay.
Then I go 59% Mandalorian season 3. So
Wow.
59%, 40%, and then 1% Book of Boba Fett.
Okay.
And we could see him in Book of Boba.
Mhm.
I feel like we're gonna get different stuff from that show for some reason.
Yeah.
I get a vibe that we're gonna get stuff maybe we haven't ever seen, or maybe we've heard rumblings of.
Mhm.
I don't think we'll see him. And DJ says that's a good call on the appearance in Ahsoka. Yeah, you framed it up perfect there of why he would be in that show. However, I got to give you the counterpoint of
Sure.
it's Mandalorian.
That is what has
it's-
all the eyes right now.
It is the juggernaut of the streaming services.
Mhm.
So why would you not drop your Thanos of the universe in your Avengers movie, right?
These are great analogies, man.
That's all I can. You know me. Come on.
Yeah.
Look up. I mean, we got a little Spider-Man going, but it's a perfect comparison because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to build this universe, and that is exactly what Marvel's been doing for 10 years. So, if you're gonna do it, you got to drop it in front of people who are going to see it. And again, it needs to be quick. It doesn't need to be long. It needs to be almost like when Darth Vader is talking to Palpatine, right? It needs to be like that vibe where maybe not the same thing because we've seen that 38 times. Maybe see him in person. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
just kill Moff Gideon, go on, and boom. That sets the scene, and you go, "Oh my goodness, who is this dude?" All right.
This is
Oh,
what
so he's the puppet master.
This is what I'm starting to think now that you're starting to convince me a little. Honestly. I think Moff Gideon is still going to be the main villain of season 3. However, if there is a possibility of Thrawn showing up in season 3, it'll be the very last episode where he does maybe in fact show up, offs Moff Gideon, and it's like a Thanos turning his shoulder over his throne kind of moment. And that's it. And it says Thrawn will return in Ahsoka coming in 2023. It'll be like one of those things like with Boba Fett in season 2 post-credit scene. It could be that route, and then I could see that. I could see that
a post-credit scene. But if this is the guy that we're speculating is going to be across all of these TV shows, the Mandalorian season 4, probably Ahsoka, you got him some time, but you got to show him in Mandalorian. You got to. That's where everyone's watching.
Yeah.
That's where everyone's watching. Again, I don't know anything about the story, and I don't even know if they've said anything about the story of season 3, but I think we're going to get the Mandalore stuff, and then we're going to get the Thrawn stuff, right? I think the Mandalore, I don't even know if there's going to be a big bad besides Thrawn pulling the strings over here.
Okay.
Maybe, do we know what Mandalore is like right now? Chad, anybody?
It mentioned in season 2 because Bo-Katan's trying to get back there.
Is Thrawn there?
He could be, but
I mean, like, is anyone?
The last that we know of Thrawn, he's out in the unknown regions, just hiding out, essentially.
Okay.
But
Well,
yeah, he could have made his way to Mandalore. That would really set up the story, no doubt.
oh, I don't even know if that's the case. That would tie everything in, right? If he had some sort of presence on Mandalore or his people, like Moff Gideon, right? His, you know, what
His
would you call?
moffs.
Yeah, yeah, his Moffs. That's right. But I don't know, man. What do you guys think out there? Is he Mandalorian season 3 or is he Ahsoka? Or is he Book of Boba Fett? We
Yeah,
heard what DJ
yeah.
said. Let us know.
I
Throw it
do
in the
think,
comments.
yeah, and I do think, regardless, tying this back to Moff Gideon, I really think his next story is involved with a big bad, and I do think it's got to be Thrawn at this point. Because now that we've seen him exposed, we've seen him at his lowest point.
Exactly. Exactly.
It just makes sense from a storytelling, what am I trying? A storytelling view for there to be somebody else to now kind of fill that big bad role. Now that we've kind of seen Moff Gideon go that route.
We saw him almost try to kill himself because he got beat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, and he almost murked Baby Yoda. Let's not forget about that little scene where he about shot him in the face. That's crazy. So he's still, pretty evil dude, but I think that would do a lot with one scene. And DJ says, pretty sure Mandalore is scorched by war between Mandalorians and the Empire. I don't think there's much happening on Mandalore.
Which could tie back to your theory of Thrawn hiding out there, because there ain't much going on there. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know, man. I all I know is that I'm freaking pumped, and I'm loving that they have, at least seems like they're setting the seeds and letting their garden grow with all the toys in the toy box.
I think so.
All right, we're moving on here. Great. I knew that would be a good one because that's, season 3 of Mandalorian. It's Mando talk. Come on.
Mando talk, baby.
All right, moving on. Number 4. First look. Old Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker in the Disney Gallery Mandalorian special coming August 25th. I love this image. And you guys know, I'm a pretty, I love Star Wars, but I'm not as diehard as some people I know. So, I know there's people out there crying their heads off seeing this image. They're crying. Cause what an awesome still, man. I love seeing Mark Hamill because I didn't think he did it. I didn't think he was there for this. What do you think? What do you think about this image?
I think I had heard or read that Mark Hamill was, in fact, on set. I did not know for 100% sure that he actually stood in costume in front of the cameras for the child scene. Obviously, he wasn't doing the lightsaber shots. He wasn't doing all that action.
Oh,
Man, I believed you there for a second. Like, come on, man. Come on. Unless he's Superman all of a sudden.
Yeah, no.
No, I didn't know for sure, that he was involved as far as being there, dressed in costume. I knew he kind of had some role with voice, but I didn't know what to expect. But yes, this image, great. It did give me chills. It did get me kind of back to original trilogy vibes, seeing him in those all-black Return of the Jedi robes. And it was great, man. I really felt like a child again. Just like at the end of Season 2, I felt like a child again seeing that Luke Skywalker return. I'm getting those vibes. And if they pull at that thread come August 25th, which they're going to, I'm going to thoroughly enjoy that special.
Yeah, DJ says, I will shed actual tears when this premieres. August 25th, cannot get here fast enough. Yeah, you're right. There's gonna be a lot of crying dudes and a lot of crying women on August 25th. A lot of crying people. Just everybody crying. Mark Hamill, or DJ says, Mark Hamill has tweeted a few months back about being involved, but didn't disclose to what degree. This D23 reveal is the first that ever lent itself to being on set in costume. And I think I do remember he said that he was involved, but by involved, what does that mean, right?
Right.
You got a call, say, hey, we're bringing Luke back. Okay, cool. So I'm just so happy to see that he was there, committed on set, in costume, holding Baby Yoda right next to R2. Like, come on.
Yeah,
Come on. Give me the
that's
feels,
that's an
baby.
incredible moment. Really,
Um,
really incredible moment. And yeah, I
I
just can't
can't wait
wait.
for the special, especially because I didn't get to talk about the special.
Mm,
Out of nowhere. First of all, what a little Christmas present we got here. A little Christmas in July or whenever they announced it,
mm,
because I was bummed to not see more about this in the gallery when we watched it. I was very surprised we didn't see more about it. And the fact they said, just hold on 1 second. We know what we're doing. We got Luke
mm,
Skywalker here. I love it. And it shows confidence in them, and it shows forward thinking by them as well.
mm. How long
I
do
feel
you
like I'm
expect this
talking a
thing to
lot.
be?
Sorry. Huh?
How long do you expect this thing to be? Like length?
45 minutes.
Okay. Cuz I'm still trying to figure out how much can they give us just focused on that moment. Which, granted,
Yeah.
with that, it's for the finale, not necessarily just that. So it's going to touch on, Boba, Tamara Morrison, Katie Sackhoff, and
Yeah.
all of their reactions potentially to seeing Mark Hamill on set. Now, I will say this, though. Katie Sackhoff is on record saying that they had no clue that it was Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker in that moment. I think she
Yeah.
may have even said that it was Plo Koon or somebody like that, like some random Jedi, and they all believed it. So I don't know if there's really much
There's got to
scene.
be a reaction shot.
Right.
Them all weeping just like us. Like there's got to be that. But I think they're going to go in depth into, at least this is what I hope they do. I think they're going to go into in depth what they were doing with the scene in
Mm.
terms of choreography, in terms of, showing the ship and then showing it through the screen. And
Ooh.
then the way, man, Peyton Reed just nailed the buildup of this scene. And I want to get into the weeds of that and why he did that and what he was thinking and why bring Luke back. Like who said why we got to get Luke, right? I want to know all these things.
Yeah.
And I also want to see more about what they did with the face and the voice.
Yeah.
That's very fascinating to me. I think that's going to be a large part of it is, oh, we took his this and did that and mixed this. And I hope we get that. And, but I want to know a little bit more about the background of bringing Luke back and the ramifications of that. You don't just drop Luke Skywalker in an episode and, never talk about it again. So I'm excited.
Exactly. And that's why I still heavily believe, and maybe August 25th will influence my feels on this. Right now, I heavily believe that we're not done with Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian. Maybe they say something or they mention something in that special that makes me change that opinion, but you're right. Why bring this up and not capitalize on it? It's Luke Skywalker with potentially the new face of the franchise with Grogu, because Grogu is everywhere. Like,
Grogu's
this is
everywhere.
going off on a soapbox here. Star Wars struggles with toys, but Grogu has still remained everywhere.
Grogu's
Everywhere. And other characters have not been able to do that. So you've got Luke Skywalker, the old face of Star Wars. You've got Grogu, the new face of Star Wars, together. They're going to capitalize on that at some point. It'll just be interesting to see how they do it. And they're doing it as early as just some behind-the-scenes stuff in this Disney gallery. And I can't wait. I can't wait.
DJ says, if it's 4 hours, I'll watch it all in one sitting, but it's probably an hour-ish. I agree. I'd say 45 minutes to an hour. That's probably where we sit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says that Katie Sackhoff did say she was told it was going to be Plo Koon, which is a solid Filoni move. 100%. Don't tell him. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell him.
Just everything about this scene was amazing.
Yeah.
And if you ever, question Star Wars, or your hope has faltered with the sequels or whatever it may be, we gotta all come together and say this was a feat of magic.
It was
magical.
I really don't know how they're gonna beat it. I don't know how they're gonna beat it, and it's gonna be a challenge.
I think you don't try. I think you don't try to beat it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only way, because my gosh, it was so good.
Yep.
All right. So that was huge. That one little image was huge, and I can't wait for August 25th. Let us know what you guys think. August 25th. That is 3 weeks away. 3 weeks away from yesterday.
And is it going to be on a Wednesday?
It's a Wednesday.
Okay. So they're sticking to that.
Yep.
Sticking to those Wednesday releases.
So I can't wait for that Thursday live stream. That's going to be a good one.
Dude, we might have to do like a special, like maybe pause on the review, like on the news, and maybe just review the Disney Galaxy, depending on how much content's actually in it.
Yeah, if it's like 20 minutes, whatever.
But regardless, Thursday on the 26th of August, you'll get your content from us as far as that special goes.
Be on the lookout. If you're just watching afterwards or whatever, hit the subscribe button. Come join us every week. Come on over. All right. This is our last news of the day. Number 5. Palpatine's contingency plan has been laid out on StarWars.com. So I was reading the notes before the show. Didn't know about this. I didn't know at all, and fascinating. If you're interested at all with what Palps had in the works, very cool read. So go check out the article, like I said, on StarWars.com. Here's some few quotes we had thought of, worth our time.
Yep, and Zach's putting his reading glasses on. I hope he doesn't run into challenging words here.
We got Father of Two over here. Just give me a second. And before that, DJ says dibs on being in the August 26th live show.
Hey,
you know what? I like it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I like it. So, here we go. Getting into Palps's Palpatine's contingency plan. I don't have a good Palps voice. Yep. That was scary. That was awesome. All right. Quote from StarWars.com. For many years prior to his demise, Palpatine sought immortality on the Sith planet of Exegol. It was on this planet that he and his cultists, known as the Sith Eternal, experimented with cloning. Exegol was also where Palpatine built his Final Order fleet. As an immortal Sith, Palpatine would reign supreme over the galaxy with his Sith Armada. This would be the grand finale of the contingency, known only to a select few. End quote. Let's get I'll say them all and then we'll talk about them.
Sure. Okay.
Next big quote was, when Palpatine was killed on the second Death Star, his consciousness transferred to a clone of his own body on Exegol, but the body was too weak to contain him. This led to Palpatine creating more clones and strand casts of himself in the hopes that one would offer a more suitable vessel for him to inhabit. All of this effort ultimately culminated in Rey, the daughter of one of Palpatine's strand casts. She was the perfect vessel, but her father and mother did everything they could to hide her from her sinister grandfather. Destiny and the contingency would catch up to Rey in the form of the First Order, led by one of Palpatine's evil duplicates called Snoke. We're getting some deep facts here, folks. Although Snoke was unsuccessful in bringing Rey to Palpatine and was unexpectedly killed by his protege, Kylo Ren, Palpatine continued to pull the strings in order to reel in his granddaughter so he could finally achieve ultimate power. End quote. All right, folks. Is this what you call retconning and coming up with it as you go? That's my first question.
Oh man, gosh.
Was this the pitch? This is the pitch for Rise of Skywalker that we just read.
It sounds like it, man. It really does sound like it.
The more I read, the more I got upset.
I hate that this information, for some fans, for maybe others out there, we already read some novels or comics or whatever to get some of this information. But I hate this idea that these type of answers are getting laid out on a StarWars.com article for fans to read and not played out in front of us.
It makes me sick. I'm appalled by this. I'm going dark side fully on what I just read. Are you kidding me? You guys, you got to be on my side here, right? I'm not too dark. This is nuts. that they're dropping these bombshells in a paragraph. What are we doing?
You're not wrong, man. I'm
What are we doing?
I'm trying to prevent myself from just busting out laughing.
Dude, what are we doing here? Come on, Kathy. I got to call her back up and be like, what are we doing with this contingency plan?
This is Emperor Palpatine. This is the
one of the
overarching
greatest
villain of the entire saga.
One of the greatest villains of all time. One of the best villains ever written for cinema of all time, ever. Guys, I'm trying. I promise you, I'm trying. Okay? Give him a chance. We're going to read some excerpts. I'm going to read them back. I see Keller highlighted some of them, so I'm going to read them back.
Specific ones that really stood out to me.
Yeah. Exegol was also where Palpatine built his final order fleet.
So the interesting thing with that one for me was that I didn't.
Got a lot of engineers out there.
I didn't know that the Final Order fleet was created while Palpatine was still alive. Like, I thought that the Final Order fleet was something that was created after his death. But
I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're saying.
But he went there with his cultist, known as the Sith Eternal, experimented with cloning. And that's where Palpatine began to build his Final Order fleet before he even died. I did not know that.
I hate this so much.
I did not know that information. I thought that
I didn't know it either. I guess it makes sense somehow. I don't know. The smartest dude who's pulling all the strings said, "I'm gonna get killed somehow. I'm gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
So I need 50,000 freaking huge Star Destroyers for my Final Order."
Yeah.
Maybe. The cultists can build some daggum Final Order ships, baby, because there was a lot of them in the sky.
There was a ton. Absolutely.
There was a
ton.
lot. So good on them for getting those resources. But next one. His consciousness transferred to a clone of his own body on Exegol, but the body was too weak to contain him.
Yeah. So
I'm not up on my Sith cloning, right? Or my Sith consciousnesses.
I got this mental image as I read that of Palpatine, going down the Death Star.
Yep.
Vader
Blowing
just threw
up.
him, but yet his consciousness just wishes out of his body, flies
Like a
all
ghost.
the way to Exegol into a clone.
And then goes into the new Palps who can't contain him.
Yeah.
And then he starts hopping around clones, and I can just see him going.
Now, I do have a positive with this. I think this is so setting the stage for that body that we saw in The Mandalorian to 100% be, in fact, an attempt of a clone for Palpatine's consciousness.
Yeah. Sure. I mean,
Sure.
I think you're right. I definitely think that was setting the seeds of them, or showing us that they were testing this cloning. And the fact they're talking about straight up, Snoke was a. Let me find it. I can't find it in here. Yeah.
Third
All
paragraph, I think.
Yeah. Although Snoke was unsuccessful, led by Palpatine's evil duplicates called Snoke. If he's an evil duplicate of Palpatine, first of all, he doesn't look great. Wasn't a successful
Duplicate. Nope.
It wasn't he doesn't look like him. So if you're going for that, no. DJ says secrets only the Sith knew. Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
That sums it up, man. That is the
There you go.
perfect explanation.
That's all I need. Is it Poe that said that, or one of the random characters in Rise of Skywalker?
I believe it was the Hobbit.
That's what I thought. The
I'm
Lost
blanking.
Dude.
DJ, I know you're a huge Lord of
No,
the Rings fan.
It's Dominic Moynihan.
Yes, it's
Boom.
him. But the Hobbit. What's his name? What's his name?
I
Come
don't
on, DJ will type
All
it
I
in
know
there.
is
we'll come
Frodo.
back to it.
I'm a Frodo guy, I guess. But
Mary and Is it Poppin? It's not Poppin. That would be like Mary Poppins.
Yeah, Mary and Poppins. I don't freaking know, dude. But going back to this, yeah, DJ, let us know what Hobbit or whoever, give us the Hobbit name. But guys, I want to know what everybody feels on this. This is a community conversation on this one.
Yeah, it is.
All of this effort ultimately culminated in Rey, the daughter of one of Palpatine's strand casts. What the crap is a strand cast?
I don't know, man.
One.
This is really going dark side, man.
And what are we doing with Rey? She's a vessel of what? She's Ben Kenobi's granddaughter. Give me that answer. Give me that answer. I'm hyped up today, people. I am sorry about this, but this just he says DJ says, holy crap, Beaumont, Mariotic, Brandy Buck, holy crap, Keller, it's Mary and Pippin, Sam and Frodo plus Bilbo. Get it right.
That's it. My bad, man. My bad.
Well, we're dark side over here, okay? We're going crazy tonight because you dropped this on us in a freaking paragraph on StarWars.com. We're going to get hyped up about it. You guys knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. All right, I've been talking a lot about this. I'm worked up. Sure. You guys can't tell. Kelly, what do you think?
Okay.
What does this do for you?
I will preface this with, I don't hate The Rise of Skywalker. I enjoy that movie. I have fun with all of the sequel trilogy movies.
Okay.
But it all comes back to, I think regardless of where you stand with the sequels, you have to realize there was zero planning as far as director to director to director. It was a pass the baton. And man, is that evident when we get to this point. When we get to this point of putting explanations for one of the greatest, arguably the greatest villain in all of cinema on a StarWars.com article, we are explaining how he returned from death and showed back up in The Rise of Skywalker. That really bothers me. And it's not enough for me to, go full dark side and just hate the sequels and do everything, that you see like all these negative, people do online. And I'm just not really about that because I do see the positives. I do see the things that are good in The Rise of Skywalker, and I do see the good of Palpatine coming back in The Rise of Skywalker. And it's easy for me to, come to these kind of conclusions maybe without it being laid out to me, like, theorizing, Palpatine must have been doing something with cloning, all of that. It's A-okay. But, back to, you always make this analogy, your wife, my wife, random people that just go to the movie theater to go see The Rise of Skywalker. There's no explanation behind it, and I hate that the answer is out there now on this article. And yeah, I agree with you. I'm going dark side too. This is bad. Yeah. This is a bad look in my opinion.
It's bad. I'm glad I didn't know about it. Because that means normal people are not deep in Star Wars may not figure this out and find this out.
That's true.
And DJ says this paragraph almost makes no sense. Agree. It's not that there wasn't planning. It was just done so poorly that when he got through The Last Jedi and to Rise of Skywalker, everything was messed up. Quoting Poe Dameron, you start an attack, you follow it through.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know what this does for me?
What's that?
I want the freaking movie we were going to get so bad.
From Colin?
Yes.
Duel of the Fates?
Give it to me, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
It makes me want that even more.
I would love to see it, but
because what the crap are we reading here? We're reading what JJ and Terrio, I think it's who wrote it, right?
Yes.
We're reading what they put on the back of the napkin. That's what we're reading. And I know that's harsh probably because these guys worked very, very hard and they were in a very tough, predicament because I'd really like to believe Disney was like, you got to put Palpatine in there. We got to pull the freaking emergency hatch. We got to have Palpatine in there. And DJ says, and their attack sucked. Fair. And I'm with you. I did not hate Rise of Skywalker. I almost said Return of Skywalker. I did not hate Rise of Skywalker at all. I actually, pretty entertaining film. The biggest thing for me that very much pisses me off is that they're saying Rey is this vessel for him. I love Rey so much. She's my favorite character. No, second favorite character in the new trilogy, right? Kyle is my boy. Come on. But she's so good, and she's so pure, and she's so awesome. But no, she's just a vessel for old Palpatine. Now, you could argue that it makes her stronger, right? That she overcame that, and she went light side, and she ended up destroying him. But I don't like that.
Yeah, it is tough. I do think, though, maybe on the flip side, I think maybe that's just, the dark side's interpretation of what Rey is. They see Rey as a powerful Force user, so they're like, oh, okay, that would be a perfect vessel for the Sith cultists to transfer Palpatine into, or however that works.
She's a daughter of Palpatine's strand cast, whatever the freak that is, and how this cloning, this mystical body floats from clone to clone of one of the greatest villains of all time.
This is bumming me out, man. It
really
is.
We got to change the vibes here, because this is just, made me mad, and I'm just disappointed.
I'm glad that we waited to cover this until last, because I feel like I would have been like, oh, come on, the rest of the
Let's
show.
talk about Mark Hamill on the set of Mandalorian.
There you go.
That'll get you pumped.
Or let's talk about sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, DJ just says, that's what makes her story so great. If she's a vessel, she's a broken one in the best way possible. Becoming what she did means Palpatine's in. Exactly. That's kind of what I was saying. That's the counterpoint of what my, hurtful heart would do, is not take it at face value. Take it as she overcame that. And in that light, it makes a lot more sense to me. Oh, he says strand cast equals midichlorians. Sure. Right.
Yeah. It's your own headcanon at this point. It seems like just
the biggest issue I see in this, why is it a Star Wars blog post or whatever?
I don't know.
That's the biggest issue for me.
Okay.
Because why not do something with this? Put it in a comic book.
Well, see, and I do want to clarify that maybe. I think at the beginning of this article, it does say that it's a Lucasfilm Star Wars employee that went through all the different canon content out there and came up with or put together this piece. So I do think a lot of these answers are out there, but maybe this is just the first time that we have seen it put together and mapped out in this way.
That guy, who is this person? We got to find him.
Not sure.
We got to find him, because we need to tweet him. He's just doing his job. I don't want to get too negative. So I'm already way negative, but
no doubt.
Let's bring it back. The good things about this, right? We know Palpatine. Yeah. We know Palpatine sought immortality, and he was trying with cloning. Like you said, Exegol was there with the First Order fleet. That's cool. Question for you and everybody out there. Do we see this show up, the cloning and Exegol and stuff, show up in Mandalorian Season 3?
I expect to see some connections in the Mandoverse, but I'm not going to say as early as Season 3, maybe just later.
Okay.
I would love to, and I think it would be appropriate because we've all already seen Rise of Skywalker. We've all already seen Palpatine coming back. Yeah, so I do think it's possible, and I would put money on it, honestly, that we're going to end up getting these kind of answers displayed in television at some point. I think we just have to be patient. Now, I did pull up the article. It does say Star Wars Inside Intel is a StarWars.com feature where Lucasfilm Story Group member Emily, and I'm going to mess up her last name, Gahokiani, whose job is to know as much about a galaxy far, far away as possible, explores obscure facts about Star Wars lore and continuity. In this installment, Emily connects the dots of Palpatine's contingency plan. So she's taking all of this different canon content out there, putting it all together to map it out there for the fan base. Just to clarify that. That maybe we were too harsh. Maybe it was in the novels and maybe it was in the comics, but maybe this blog post did put all of it together for those of us that don't really have time to maybe read all of that to look at.
Let's talk to Emily real quick, okay?
Okay.
Emily, we were harsh. But this is craziness.
It is.
I feel bad for you, Emily. You did a great job. You did your lore. You answered the question, right? How is Palpatine back? You answered it with details.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more on Star Wars to not, stick the landing. So
Agreed.
It's more on that. It's not an issue with the person or any of that. It's just I can't believe we read it in that regard.
So
DJ
do you
said,
think
we need to see the cloning come to the Mandoverse because of that doctor who operated on Grogu? Great call.
Yeah.
Great call.
So do you think that we're going to see the cloning in Mandoverse?
I do. I think we'll touch on it. I think it's going to be another. The reason I think it is because we saw what we saw in season 2, right? I don't think they would show us that without knowing how to tie that in again. Kind of like what we're talking about with Bad Batch. I would think they would bring it up maybe one more time or maybe a little bit more. DJ says that Kaminoan cloning logo / symbol has already been seen in Mandalorian because of that doctor. So it's coming soon, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely fair. So anything else on the contingency plan?
No, it does bum me out, but hey.
One thing I was thinking about this was I thought this would be a really cool thing to put in a video game. My mind went straight to Battlefront 2, where you see him, in that red drone type thing, and that's basically part of his contingency plan. I would love to have seen it in that regard, and maybe we do at some point, but I don't know. The Sith cultists and all this stuff to consciousness. Crazy. But,
it is crazy. But
we got it answered. And we'll roll on. I think what we need to do, I need to do a rewatch of the sequels.
Dude.
I need to watch them all. Again.
I think
I haven't watched freaking Last Jedi in, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
Because Rise of Skywalker came out 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2019, at the end of 2019.
Yeah, so almost 2 years ago. It's crazy. 2020 was literally so.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, that is all of our news pieces this evening. We did finally get through them all. There was a lot to discuss, a lot of interesting topics, and there at the end, we got to a controversial topic, at least in our opinion, in our eyes.
Saw me worked up. Look behind me. If you're on YouTube, if you're not on YouTube, get on YouTube. You can see I'm dark side today, baby.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's every day, man.
Yeah, it is. Star Wars.
Listen,
what are we doing?
Yeah. If you're still here and you are not subscribed, click that subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate it because we always talk and have fun with Star Wars news, the Bad Batch reviews, and I'm sure we'll continue to crank out more content as we move forward. And if you want to get to know us a little bit more on a personal level, click that Discord link that's in our bio, and also follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Mando Talk. Those are all of our plugs. If you're here, you're an A1. We appreciate you. You are legendary, as Barney Stinson would say. Zach Horvath, I appreciate you coming back because I know it's still busy for you, but it's great to have you. I love talking Star Wars with you. I love that we always have at some point differing opinions, differing takes, but we find a common ground. I understand your takes, you understand mine, and I think that's the beauty of Mando Talk, and I've said it before, I think the beauty of Mando Talk as well is, you get two differing type of levels of Star Wars fandom, so, if you, the people out there, know people like that, share it. Share us with them. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and bring him over here to Mando Talk. Zach, I appreciate you being back. You got any final thoughts you want to send out there to our listeners?
Thank you for having me back. I love this. I love hanging out with you. I love talking Star Wars. Even if I do get a little dark sometimes, you guys know I love this show. I love Star Wars. I love you guys. And yeah, share with your friends. If you got Star Wars friends out there, if you have friends that like Star Wars, they want to talk about Star Wars. That's just how it goes, right?
That's true. That's true.
So share with them. Share it with them. Get it out there. Come at us. It's good. We love all the commentary, and I'm looking forward to Bad Batch tomorrow. Let's get it.
Dude, I think it's going to be special. And Mando Talk is going to be here to cover it for you, and we can't wait to do that. But we're going to go ahead and get out of here. We're going to end this stream. We hope that you have a great evening if you're still watching with us live. If you're watching on the playback and you've made it to this point, just have a great day. Enjoy Star Wars. That's what it's all about. And as always, until next time,